This episode is powered by Safety FM.
This podcast is being sponsored by safetyconsultantblueprint.com.
In this week's episode, I have a special guest, my wife, Mariann Primus.
Do you feel that your knowledge would be better served if you were your own boss? Your knowledge can help more people improve their workplace safety. Most of what you know may be wasting in a job that limits what you can do for the overall health and safety of workers. Now is the time to start your own business while you're still working for your current employer. Start your own safety consultant business with the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. Get your business legal in just a week. Brand yourself as an authority in safety, even on a shoestring budget. No more stressing about how to price your services fairly, but still make a profit. And experience the amazing feeling of being your own boss. This 100% online video course is instructor-led and will give you detailed steps to keep you focused as to what to do next to grow your business. Lay out strategies to keep you maximizing your marketing and networking efforts. And explain how to get money in between clients. Register today at safetyconsultantblueprint.com and enter the code PODCAST.
Well, my special guest, tell me a little bit about your journey as being an entrepreneur. So I gotta... I'm using your idea. Your idea says, you said have it at the very end, didn't you?
That wasn't my idea.
You did too. No, actually, it could be you or Jay. I can't remember which one.
You're the work wife.
Yeah, Jay. Well, now everyone knows that you're my wife. And I'm going to leave this in too, because it's fun.
My name is Mariann Primus. I am the wife of your host.
Yay. She puts up with this nerdy guy.
Do.
All right, well, we're trying to figure out what to actually say, what to do will be interesting to the guest, and my idea for this episode is to get the spouse's view of being an entrepreneur, and then safety consulting, it doesn't really matter, that side on the spouse, because I'm sure they could spit off all safety stuff. Like Mariann, she actually looks at things now and she could say, that doesn't look safe, is that right?
Yeah, I've learned some keywords, buzzwords over the years, so it makes it look like I'm really paying attention.
Yes. And then actually she throws a loop every once in a while and I'll be like, oh, wait on. You know about this? And she's like, yeah, I know. I got you.
Egress and all of that stuff.
That's right. So we've been married for how long?
We've been married 22 years.
See?
And a half.
That was a quiz because I always know and she always...
That's not true. I always know.
It's just the... Usually I always say something like, especially with we have an anniversary and an anniversary. So that we haven't celebrated in a while, but together I know most of the dates.
22 years, that's what we'll stick with.
All right, we're in. So, when I wanted to get out of where I was working and I was ready to go, you saw signs that was like, he's ready or something's up. What was that time period like prior to leaving?
Oh boy. I know you were antsy for sure. You were in a business where I knew you were working hard to move up the ladder, and that wasn't, those opportunities weren't afforded to you as much or as frequently as you had hoped. So signs like that. Just, I think you probably threw out the idea of going on your own. And you tried it while you were still working, so it wasn't just a complete cut the cord. But I do remember when you came to me first and said, I want to leave the company. And my answer was no.
Yes.
No.
Flat out.
Nope. It's not happening. But that's my tendency of things. Say no first, and then keep the open mind after.
Keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, and then kind of see, okay, yeah, I guess this is possible. And I was working with the school district at the time, so I had a steady job. And so, yeah, I mean, it was scary, but I also saw your excitement and your willingness to pretty much do anything to make it work.
Yeah. So,
and that in turn got me excited for you. The possibility of what you could do with it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you talked about it being slow going.
Yes, I have.
We totally were not prepared at all. Don't do what we did.
That's why I said, stay with your job.
We were jump and then look for sure.
Yeah. Shoot, aim, fire.
Yes. Shoot,
fire,
aim, fire.
fire, aim, shoot.
Something like that. Aim was last.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said in one of the chapters of my book, one of the first episodes of this podcast, if you could start your business while you're still working and do it part-time, it's easier to transition. And that was for a reason I said that.
And you did.
Yeah,
you did.
I did.
There was a lot of additional building that had to go in there.
It does. Now, then after I got started, got my foot in the door, then something crazy happened later on. What was that?
Yeah, so you left 2012, and then 2014, I started getting the itch.
Yeah.
I was teaching special ed with the school district, and had been teaching for about 14 years at that point, and somewhere between 2014 and 2016 we started talking more and more about me leaving the school district. So the end of the 2015-2016 school year, I left the school district and the traditional classroom teaching to start my own business.
Entrepreneur.
Yes.
So we need to do a podcast of me seeing how it is for me to be married to an entrepreneur.
Yes. Someday we will do that.
Yeah. She's been thinking podcast too, so I'm like, yes, do it.
Yeah. I let him figure out all the kinks, and then I jump in and go, okay,
we're ready.
Now I can do it. Now he's figured it out. So...
Yeah, that's like we listened to, I don't know, I think it's like episode 5 or 6. I mentioned something about a group, entrepreneur couple that we follow called Flip Lifestyle. Shane and Jocelyn Sands, those two guys together have been awesome. There's a lot of S's. It's like, but that was a real good thing for us to do, just so we could learn a little bit about being our own bosses, being entrepreneurs. But it was also a godsend when we found them, because that helped us kind of get the idea of going through the process of being entrepreneurs. And the podcast I have now, I think part of it is, or at least some of it is based on what I've even learned from them. So even this is part of what I feel there. So I think entrepreneurship is, in this day and age, everybody wants to be their own boss.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did need to talk about what I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah.
So I went from teaching in the traditional classroom. I had been tutoring. My focus had been children with autism for at least 11 of the 16 years that I taught.
Yeah.
So I continued doing private tutoring, which I had been doing the last few years. And but the new thing that I added to that was children's yoga. So I got certified in children's yoga about a year before I left, and really liked everything that it taught and the tools that it taught the kids, and it was all about calming techniques and strategies in my classroom anyway, so it fit in. And so started doing children's yoga, and that again was very slow going and painstaking in the beginning, but by the second year out of teaching, I was doing pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Classes in libraries, summer camps, community centers, preschools. Got pretty good. Plus private as well, and started combining tutoring with the children's yoga, especially for my special needs families. So yeah, that's where that went, and was going good, and we had another big life change. So
yes, had a couple of them, weren't we?
Things had to change once again on my end. So
yeah,
that was the start.
Starting out, what was one of the hardest things to do? Leaving a set job, pay coming in regular and everything. That's always tough, but what else do you say was hardest? Getting yourself started, getting out there.
Being comfortable with putting yourself out there. I'm good about hiding behind letters and emails and that sort of thing, and sent out just dozens and dozens of emails to every school, every community center, every after-school program in any area that I was willing to drive to, and a couple stuck out of a dozen. But
that's
it
actually
adds up.
A really high ratio too.
Well, we won't nitpick percentages, but basically enough stuck to where I was at least matching my income, what I was making as a teacher, compared to what I was making with the children's yoga and supplementing with the tutoring, and then in addition got in with some homeschool families, so I was doing additional teaching with some local homeschool families and former students' families too, so having a circle to draw from, whatever your expertise or skill set is. That's important. Use who you know, and I don't mean use, but utilize in a good way.
Networking.
Yeah. It's another word for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We use the word networking, but
sounds better.
It's always used. That's like LinkedIn. You get your LinkedIn, someone, you say yes, and you add that connection, and all of a sudden you got a string of emails of them saying, all right, this is what I do, buy from me.
Right. So, I don't even remember your question. What was challenging?
Actually,
Did I answer it?
You're giving us the path, I guess, to how you're making business and how you're getting out there. Was there anything that was like specifically tough?
So reaching out, being able to, so I did a lot of emails, but like having to talk to people in person or put yourself out there for like, you were big on doing the networking groups in the communities. I never stepped foot in one because that is just not my comfort zone. I'm not a walk up to a stranger person. Sheldon knows this. He walks up to a stranger and I walk away.
Yes.
Literally, like down the aisle, around the corner, down the block.
Anything, right?
It's something I'm working on. But so, yes, find, I guess, what you're good at. And talking to strangers is not something I'm good at, but I'm a decent writer, communicator. So I reached out that way, and then it led to phone calls and that sort of thing. So I got comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What
about like for a while you're doing things where you're partnering. I remember specifically on my mind was the partnering with the summer camp, and that was an awesome idea, and it was great that you and the other individual were able to go ahead and provide summer camp, and it was something that you could do all yourself. You had your own curriculum, everything that you developed. How did that kind of synergy work, where you found someone that's like, all right, we could do this together. Let's both pool our resources and do this.
So it was another children's yoga teacher that was in the county south of us, and I don't really remember how the idea first came about. I think she had worked with another set summer camp the previous year and did really well, and decided to just do it on her own as 100% kids yoga summer camp. And there wasn't anything else like that in the area, and we knew each other from the children's yoga circuit, and everything. So it just worked that between my background teaching and her background with business, she definitely, it was her baby, so I can't claim anything more than, I taught several weeks in it, but I created the curriculum for my weeks, and my skill set from teaching with doing the lesson plans, and she still uses that format.
Really? Wow.
So it's just, you use what you have and you just keep tweaking it for, what you're doing now, I think.
Yeah.
You don't lose what works for you in one area. I think a lot of times will keep working for you even when the genre changes.
Yeah. You get a lot of competition in what you do with tutoring. There's competition with tutoring. There's competition for children's yoga, mindfulness. Now that you're getting into mindfulness, it's a lot of competition with that. So how do you differentiate yourself from others?
Good question.
Ooh, nailed it. I gotta get at least one. That's a good question for me to feel validated about this. All right.
How do I differentiate? Well, my background with special needs and autism, I think, is pretty much how I differentiate. So when we had our other big life change, when we left our Sticks and Bricks house and started traveling full-time our years, of course, I was then walking away from most of my tutoring families.
Yeah.
I still keep in touch with some and do some little meetups with them here and there. But I could no longer do the classes with the preschools and all of that. So that was a little hard to walk away from because I just really kind of got my feet under me.
Yeah.
But I started doing Teacher Pay Teachers is a platform for online, teacherpayteachers.com, and it is basically products made by teachers for teachers.
Do you remember your URL?
Well, if you go to teacherspayteachers.com, my store name is Amazing Kids. OMMAZING. And Kids, KIDS. So Amazing Kids is my store there on Teacher Pay Teachers, and I started creating, started pretty early on after I left the school district. I was just kind of looking to supplement and was creating kids yoga sequences for teachers. So they tied in with, started with just tying it into literature. So common children's books. And putting the books basically to a yoga sequence. And
it's really cool. I gotta say, I've never seen anything like it, and it's, I'm not even sure you got the idea, but I love it. It was really cool seeing it.
Thank you. Well, I had already been doing yoga sequences to books when I did my classes, and that was pretty common, so I just basically put it, in black and white, so that teachers, regardless of whether you have yoga experience or not, and whether your kids have yoga experience or not, you can just see from the literally stick drawings
yes,
of what poses, and it's good for kinesthetic learners, that gets the body moving and helps with open stick a little bit, comprehension and that sort of thing. So I created these sequences for children's books, which I had a plethora of the house, and just kept building that. And then when we started traveling, carrying dozens and dozens of children's books around with us was not
in an RV 30-foot RV
was not great. So I would bring a handful with me. We'd stop at libraries and I'd pick up or go in and just sit and do sequences while we were traveling, and then it went from there to more social skill type sequences. So the yoga poses now, instead of just focusing around a children's book, they focus around specific social skills. So anything from perspective taking to empathy to turn taking to just kindness, being a good friend, anything along that. And that all kids need, but particularly children on the spectrum. And most people who have
autism spectrum.
Autism spectrum, yes. There's needs to be some direct, there needs to be direct social skills instruction. And so it just mixes things up.
Isn't that like in the entrepreneur mindset, I'm thinking just that in itself, and saying that I can offer a product, a service that will help your student, your child, to manage whenever they're feeling overwhelmed by mindfulness tricks and traits, or I could help your classroom that's getting ready for their whatever state you're in or country you're in. See, they have those state or country-led exams for kids, and this type of treatment, or not treatment, this type of practice tool, resource, that in itself, and teaching people how to do that, that can be a selling point, right?
That was a lot of trying to get the question.
I know. You told me not to stack questions, and there I am stacking them like more. I just built a house with all that stacking in. All
right. So I think what you're saying is,
break it down.
Is it a tool that's helpful? Regardless of where you are, just for the testing and all that's going on.
Well, selling it that way, with that mindset, saying this product that I have for sale can help you with these things, or have been whatever you could say to help market it.
Yes, so it's not just specifically for kids with disabilities. It's for all children, and with all the testing and high stakes testing and just pressure that's on kids these days. Yeah. And I guess that's kind of where my idea came with it. So I saw it not just with my students, and my students, although were special needs and in a self-contained class, they were still expected, for the most part, taking the same type of high stakes state tests that any other child in the state of Florida would take, with the exception of a very, very, very small handful, and they still did have to take a test as well, but it was changed. So teaching them breathing techniques and calming tools, and focusing on the breath, then moving the body to help calm the body and the brain. That's, yes, for any child. And so, yeah, it pretty much fits wherever you are and for any grade level. From with kids 3 years old up through high school. And it gives them another tool in the toolbox.
That's a great marketing tool, especially if you are one of the few that's doing it. That'd be great. What kind of resources have you been using for your business? Like websites, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest. You said Teacher Pay Teacher. What kind of resources? Even
to get my information out.
Well, anything. You can get your information out. getting free royalty-free pictures. What are we using for emails? And I know you're just starting that. I know the answer, but the audience doesn't know the answer. So those kind of things that are tools for the strappy entrepreneur, that you got to do stuff that a big business does that you have to do yourself. What are you using?
Oh, okay. Put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I know you do social media. People can find you on Facebook, right?
Yes, on Facebook. Amazing Kids. Website amazingkids.com, which is still a work in progress. So. The judgment to the side when you go.
Judgment to the side.
I'm still building. Honestly, the focus has been on building more product right now, and eventually moving that product over to the website. But so got Facebook, Pinterest, somewhat, and I just have gone completely blank with some of the other things.
You're not a Twitter person. I don't use that either. I know you're. I guess another resource that collectively we've been using is actually the Flip Lifestyle group.
Yep, to bounce questions off. You've been much more active than I, but going to the conference and all that is great for me.
I might have to send Shane a copy of this.
I know, we're giving them free advertising here.
FlipLifestyle.com. Shane and Jocelyn Sams.
No, it is. It's a very good resource. Let's see. What else do I use? I don't know. I mean, if you go and you look at my products right now, what I use for the pictures is WordMaker, and we'll be doing my own drawings here in the very near future. But WordMaker is a great resource, and they do with permission, they allow you to use a certain amount, for products, which is fine. So I appreciate that.
And that's a paid solution too, right?
It is a paid, yes, it's an annual fee. And
I say that because some people don't want to pay any money for anything, but you got to break down and pay some money for important things.
And that was a lesson I had to learn. How free can I do this? So yeah, BoardMaker, just to create, of course, the books and all that, literature, and knowing what's popular for classes and teachers, and utilizing libraries and that sort of thing for me was a big one. To get my products out, and Facebook for sure, Instagram a little bit, Pinterest, yes, and I've been trying to do that more often. I don't know.
That's about it. And that's good, because I know we share a lot of our resources too. So some of my resources become your resources. I use Zoom a lot for webinars, and I use that for even recording podcasts. I interview people mostly on Zoom. Today I'm interviewing in a room in our
bedroom at the house.
That's great.
LinkedIn. That's more you than me, but I am trying to get more comfortable. He's definitely the tech person in this couple. So I guess for me, it's getting used to. I'm very comfortable with the creation side of things, so I'm good at the creating the product and then getting it out there, the promoting, all the tech side of things. I think I've had ConvertKit on my date book for I don't know how many weeks, because I just keep rolling it over because I don't know why it intimidates me. So it's a lot of getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Actually, it was going to be like one of not the ConvertKit part, but the comfort zone part, I think, was the crux of my next question. So here it is. She didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to say.
No, I asked him to give me a list of questions. The very relaxed, laid-back person that I am, and he did not, and here we are.
The very spontaneous person that I am. See, you're my yin to my yang.
Yes. What's your question?
So the question is, if someone is actually scared of selling, meaning you've got friends, you got families that help you start and get your resources, or then you branch out to maybe even a school, from your case, to try to get some business. How do you transition to, hey, pleased to meet you, to buy my product? Or how do you feel about it? There's a lot of, I don't need the actual path, but I mean getting out of yourself to just say, I need to actually ask for money now.
Yeah, that's hard. So if you're just like meeting with somebody in general, and then how like you turn the conversation to?
Yeah, like when you're ready to, you know that they want you here for service. For instance, like your libraries. When you're first trying to set up the library meetings and trying to say, I could do this, I know I could do something free for you, but you're like, I'm full-time, I need to make a living, I can't do anything for free. How do you get out yourself?
For me, it helped because I had a connection of someone that I was comfortable with in the library system. And so you're talking about when I was actually doing the yoga classes in person at the libraries. So I did send out, again, just email to like, the branches, and which I can't say really got much, but then going through somebody that I knew personally that I taught with, then she was kind of that voice of, hey, I know this person, I know that, she offer a good resource for us, for the library. And so she was able to really get in more than I was, like reach people, the right people, better than I could with just an email that, people don't even bother opening.
So you had someone help you with that. So,
yeah, I had somebody. And I think that's really how most of it went. The same with the community centers, like Hawaii. We had a friend of a friend that was in the right place. So I was able to help, open the door so that I could get in there.
Shout out to the Stuart Y. Stuart, Florida. Not the one in Iowa.
No. So, I guess that's back to not using, but utilizing the people that you know and that are in places that can kind of put a good word in for you, help you, kind of get in someplace that on your own with no connection might not be quite so easy to do.
That's great, because it's really a good way not to ask is to have someone ask for you.
Right.
And then eventually, you'll set up your marketing kits and your ads, and then your ads are asking instead of you.
Well, it kind of gets the people to come to you. So, with the library case, she kind of sent out this letter to all of the branches in the area, and then the ones that were interested then were able to reach out to me. So that way the right person was coming right to me, and I didn't have to try to figure out, which ones had good children's resources and was a good children's branch versus the ones that aren't so much. And then for the preschools, that was I had to kind of do on my own.
Yeah, hit the pavement.
Yeah, really write the emails to every preschool in the area and hope that some of them stuck. And and they did out of dozens. One or two did, and then next year added a few more. And so, and then going back to the person that I did the summer camp with, also sharing, and I know you've kind of done this too. Hey, I can't do this job. Would you be able to fill in for me? And then sometimes it turns into something more. Yeah. And sometimes it's just a fill-in gig, but
take it. Everything helps. That's cool. Before we switch the thoughts from your entrepreneur side to being married to an entrepreneur, another question I wanted to ask, just very simply, any pitfalls you think anyone should avoid, or maybe something they should consider to help advance their business quicker, especially if they're in that primary stage of saying, I want to be either a consultant or I want to be a coach or whatever it is that their businesses are turns out that I think my audience now has grown from just safety consulting, because the last few people I've talked to have had other ancillary things with safety, but just not specifically consultants. That's why I'm thinking even now, for you, not being a safety consultant, but being a business person, what would you say are some of those things?
So pitfalls and then ways to advance?
Yeah, you could ask both or anything that comes to mind.
So pitfalls would be don't move 2 years after you start your business.
Yes.
And not be in a permanent location for the 2 years after that.
Unless you're a mobile spot.
Unless you really like pop-up yoga classes or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, sticking it out and being able to have some consistency certainly helps.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a pitfall. And then when you can avoid something like that, it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but as far as advancing, just looking to see how you can expand your circle a little bit more. I mean, I know with you thought it was going to be mainly water, wastewater, and then it went to like pest control, and then it went to, I don't even know, but I mean from utilities and then out from there to construction and general industry and all these buzzwords.
I know, you're like killing it. Nailed it.
So for me,
you're saying be flexible.
Be flexible, yeah. So as we were traveling and all that, and then ended up semi-permanent here for family support and to do some help here. I turned to more of the mindfulness thing and took classes with the mindfulness school. This is kind of what you're asking. Is this what you were thinking of when you asked me this question?
More of it was good. More of any tips and tricks, and you answered it actually really good. So that's fine just there. Now on you're married to an entrepreneur. So what's it like for you on the other side? And then I'm going to tell you what it's like for me being married to an entrepreneur. So you first.
Stressful. It's stressful and fun. I enjoy seeing the opportunities and the excitement on your end when new possibilities come up, new opportunities come up, and that can be a pretty heavy drug of sorts. I mean, you can get sucked into that, the possibility that some real job is coming soon, and so your excitement feeds my excitement. And then trying to come back to the question, what it's like being married to an entrepreneur. I can totally get very wrapped up into what you have going on, which is cool. And then, there's definitely stress involved. There's great months and lean months, so trying to keep balance. Yeah. And that's probably the biggest thing, just being able to keep a balance, reminding you that it's time to clock out.
Oh, yes.
That was a big thing, especially in the early days.
Yeah. Because I went from being I wasn't salary, but they treated me like I was salary. I was there like constantly all the time when I was working for my previous employer. But when I started working for myself, I was putting in more hours, but at different times. So it wasn't actually, a set 7:30 or 7 o'clock to 3:30 every day, but it was time where I could have been hanging out with the family. And I'm, doing one more post, or I gotta do one more video for my YouTube channel or something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, sure. So it's like dinner's all ready and I don't have a table to put it on, making sure you're spread out all over the table. So I'm like, okay,
Still now,
time to clock out. So I think just being able to strike that balance with your partner, if it's your partner who's the entrepreneur, and then if you both are, being aware for each of you that you are giving yourself time not only to commit to business, but to each other, to your family, to just time for yourself, self-care.
Yeah.
All of that is super important because it's easy to get sucked into one aspect of it and then forget the others.
Yeah, that's true. And on my side, being married to an entrepreneur,
Okay.
yeah, I actually loved it because my personality is, let's just figure it out on the way. We'll jump and hopefully we'll find a parachute on the way down from this plane. And and I thought it was awesome to see my reserved, quiet, demure wife. And I don't know if demure is the right word, but just quiet, and you're more thoughtful. You're kind of remind me of my brother Mark. He's the same kind of methodical type of mind. And I was like, all right, I got her. I just did it. It's scary. Yes, it's always scary. But it was really cool for me to see that. And then it seems like you get lit up when you get caught up in your work and it starts coming through. And then when I see you actually, I remember going into one of the library classes and they were getting ready to pick you up, and I came a little early and I saw you. I was like, this is so awesome. I really like that.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was the Palm City one.
Okay.
Yeah, but not Palm City, the one like way out. What's the town?
Indian Town.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like seeing you in your creativity, and as a spouse, thinking, it's awesome seeing that something is charging you, lighting you up, and that part I like. Everything else, there is tough parts, but everything else that I it always goes back to, we're doing this together. Our song "You and Me Together" by Dave Matthews. So that's like both of entrepreneurs going at it. But I do enjoy watching you actually go out there, go get them, and conquering something. So it's a passion. It's a passionate part of having both of us being entrepreneurs, and then in the tough times, I learned a lot from you about don't buy things or do anything if you don't know the money is there.
Oh, yeah. Money in the bank, not a promise of.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all back to balance, striking that balance. And it's exciting to be able to do this adventure together. And you have the tech skills that I don't have or really particularly care to have. So I get the Cliff Notes version from you.
Yes.
Again, let you do the hard work and research, and then I'm like, okay, real quick, tell me how to do this.
All right, I got her to admit it. You guys are all my witnesses.
Yeah. Saves me the time and energy.
It's efficient, so you're actually operating efficiently.
Delegating.
You're delegating, yeah. That's basically what I am, right? Overpriced intern.
All right, now.
That's great. So plug away, whatever you got. This is my thing that I do with everyone at the end of the interview. I let them plug. That's my way of saying thank you. And I am going to share. You're going to have to help me with those show notes. What should I share on my show notes? The pictures. I'm thinking of our wedding pictures for the show notes.
All right.
So go ahead, plug away. All you.
Are you done? Okay. It's ready. So amazingkids.com. That's the website. Resources there. That right now is more informational, but the products will be on there soon. You can find all the products though on teacherpayteacher.com. And my store name is Amazing Kids. So again, it's OMMAZING Kids. And there's resources there for yoga brain breaks is what most of the products are, that go with literature as well as social skills. And this would be for teachers with special needs, just general education, as well as for homeschool. And then just the newest endeavor then is my mindfulness classes, that training that I'd gotten through mindful schools, and to be able to go into the schools and do some mindfulness classes with kids again, to help them be able to balance all the stresses put on them. But pretty much everything can be found on Amazing Kids, and I think that's it. If you go there, then you'll see all the links for all the other social media stuff, Facebook and Twitter, and not Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right. Yay. I'm going to give her a kiss. On to your kiss. Thank you, baby.
Do you want to be a safety consultant? Listen to Dr. Jay Allen of Safety FM give his experience after taking the Safety Consultant Blueprint course.
I have actually done research on different consultants and looked at different consulting courses and so on. There is a pretty fancy, very expensive consulting course that is out there. I have actually purchased the consulting course, was interested in it. It has good information, don't get me wrong. But you have a consulting course that really drives people onto focusing on safety and how to become a safety consultant. I will tell you, on your particular course, there was better information in that particular regards than the other consulting course that was more of a generalist form. But I felt like I got more information out of yours on you giving people direct path on what to do step by step. But I really think that you have a genuine good product there that can really assist people if they're interested in becoming a safety consultant.
Register for the Safety Consultant Blueprint at www.safetyconsultantblueprint.com. Enter code PODCAST for a special discount.
I want to thank you for being a great follower of my show. It's been 35 episodes, so this has been really awesome, being able to have some content for you for 35 episodes, and then also to get into this whole podcasting thing. So I want to thank everybody for listening. And before we get into the tip of the week, just want to ask you to go out there, take some action, help me out. And if you like what you hear, get on your podcatcher, whatever that is, and like, subscribe, give me a review, good or bad. I'll take it. Constructive criticism is awesome, because then you learn. So I will take it. But I love some action. So if you do feel any way about the show and you want to show support, or you want to say, hey, Sheldon, get this right, that's all right. Go ahead and do that. iTunes reviews are awesome. If you are on iTunes listening to this, and go ahead and do that. But any of your podcast catchers, as Jay Allen says, yeah, I would love that. That'd be awesome. Oh, I almost forgot. This week only, I am running a sale on safetyconsultantblueprint.com. So if you go to safetyconsultantblueprint.com, I'm doing a sale for each week of the month of October, and that's October 2019. So if you are listening to this live or within the month of October 2019, then you have an opportunity to get the Safety Consultant Blueprint course for an incredibly reduced price. So the first week of the month, I had it down as 40%. Think about that. 40% off on the actual course. So that is come and gone. So second week of the Safety Consultant Blueprint course is, and this is the second week of October. So the second week of October for the Safety Consultant course, that new rate is going to be 35% off. So you really want to hurry up and get that as best as you can. This week is the only week for it. I'm not going to be giving that much more of a percentage off. I know for sure I'm never going to do 40% like I did last week. But if you are still interested in learning to be a safety consultant with step-by-step tips from me, it's all instructor-led. and I take it a little bit at a time. I show you how to do things, and we'll just take this giant elephant of being a safety consultant, and we take it into bite-sized little consumable bites. And that's the best way I could put this. All right, so go to primus.institute for all of my courses, but specifically for the Safety Consultant Blueprint, you want to go to safetyconsultantblueprint.com whenever you're listening to this and see what specials we have. And if there is no specials, add the code PODCAST and you will get a special discount for that. All right, without further ado, let's go to the tip of the week. So the tip of the week is to make sure that you get your partner involved with your consulting business. It is so important that together you and your partner are going to conquer the world, if you will. You need their buy-in. You need to make sure that your partner or partners, because I know there are some people with that too, so I want to be open. Just make sure that together, your team, you're going to be planning this out. You're going to make sure that in all ways that you guys are going to be on the same page with the business, with the finances, because you're going to be taking money that is going to be coming to the family and using that for your actual business. So they should have a stake, they should have a say. So it's important to include your partner in your decision making as a team member. So that is the tip of the week. See you next Monday.
This podcast is being sponsored by safetyconsultantblueprint.com.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.